of all, let me just go to point number 2. A commission to work out a continent-wide plan for a unified and common economic and industrial program for Africa. He wanted the continent to be industrialized. He had already started the process in Ghana. He was rapidly industrializing Ghana. In fact, he had earmarked Britain, which is about the same size as Ghana, 94,000 square miles. Ghana is 92,000 square miles. And he had in his sight to overtake Britain economically, scientifically, and technologically. That was a task that he had set himself, just Ghana alone.
Wow.
But then he had a vision for Africa, that Africa would be the #1 superstate on the planet within a generation. But it required all African nations to unite under one union government, working towards one economic program, which was going to be based on industrialization, agriculture and industrialization, manufacturing our own goods, adding value to our natural resources, was the vision of the Osagyefo. A common market for Africa, a single African currency, an African monetary zone, one monetary system. We have all these multiple monetary systems across the African continent. Not one of the currencies worth anything. You can't even use one currency in another African country because we don't even want our brothers and sisters' currency. Because it ain't worth nothing.
Imagine.
You have to convert it into dollars or sterling to move from one African nation to another African nation and spend some money. Nobody's impressed. You bring a Kenyan shilling or a Ghana CD. Nobody interested. But if we had one single currency with a continental-wide economic system, with a competitive GDP, then the currency would be worth something in the world. Right. Everybody would want African currency because we have the natural resources that everybody covets. Whoever controls Africa rules the world. If Africans control, for God's sake, if Africans control Africa, Africans will rule the world. And everybody else knows that except us. So everyone is vying for control of Africa. And we are surrendering our God-given wealth, our God-given blessing under the earth. We're squandering it. We're giving it away like some Santa Claus, some demented Santa Claus. One African central bank. I have to repeat it. One continental communication system right across. Just imagine if we had that today, right across. Transport and communication system right across the African continent. How powerful would that be today? That was the vision of this man. That was the vision of this man. A mission to draw up details for the common foreign policy and diplomacy. By the way, this is accessible. I've got the full speech here, brothers and sisters. It's accessible online. And there's also an audio. The audio doesn't have the full speech, but it's good to listen to the audio as well, beloved brothers and sisters, to hear his voice, beautiful voice of the Osagyefo. A commission to produce, this is so important, plans for a common system of defense. We're defenseless on the African continent today. Trust me. We are defenseless. All them little poodles that them have, they call army. Little Mickey Mouse operator when them have called army. We're trained by AFRICOM and trained by the French and all that nonsense. Who are the Americans going to train us to whose interests are they going to train us to defend? Whose interests are the French going to train us to defend? Whose interests are the Russians going to train us to defend? Our interests? Moving swiftly on to the